Well, you found us yet again. This is number nine. And number nine is always lucky. And let me just tell you, usually you only get one good head of hair. But I want to tell you, see, today is really your lucky day. You got two great heads of hair. I mean, of course, we've got the best head of hair in small business, but my co-host Charlie Dirador. But you're so fortunate today that you have the good doctor himself, former delegate, professor at multiple institutions, and most importantly for today's conversation, the small business owner, the good doctor himself, Dr. David Ramadan. Thank you for
Thank you for
joining
having me,
us.
Jim. Thank you for having me, Jim and Charlie. Pleasure.
Good for you to be on with us. Thank you so much, sir.
I,
Pleasure. Pleasure.
um, you know, with the background that you have, you've looked at small business a thousand different ways. So I think for those who are the uninitiated, tell us a little bit about you, the man himself.
I'm an immigrant, immigrated to this great country at the age of 19 with $2,000 in my pocket and a dream. And I was fortunate enough to live the American dream. And in addition to be in great company like that of yours today, this 19-year-old with $2,000 in a pocket and a dream got to enjoy the great public education system in Virginia. Got my bachelor's and my master's degree at George Mason. We'll go back to Mason later. Got my doctorate degree at Vanderbilt. Owned a business since 2001. As you mentioned, I had the honor of running and serving in office as a member of the Virginia House of Delegates. I became the first adult immigrant in history in the same chamber that Jefferson, Madison, and Patrick Henry served, and I became the first adult immigrant to ever make it. A professor at George Mason. I am a visiting scholar at UVA, the Center for Politics, and the founder of Rama International, a boutique consulting and management firm that I started in 2001. I work with businesses, nonprofits, institutions on growth strategy, government relations work, executive coaching work, and navigating, the complex public sector environments. Um, Immigrated my entire family, four brothers, mom and dad, grandma. They all live within a mile of me. They all living the American dream. Six nephews and nieces, proud patriots, and proud Virginians.
From where?
Lebanon, born
Lebanon.
and raised in Beirut, Lebanon, in the midst of a devastating civil war, Charlie. That would take another episode on its own.
Wow. And when did you come here? What year?
1989, July 2nd, 1989, 36 years ago, 37 years ago this July.
How long did it take you to get your citizenship?
Oh, it was a long ordeal. Probably over 12 years. 12 or 30. Well, I got my citizenship in 2002, 1989. So, yeah, 13 years, 14 years.
Is that a system problem?
Oh, it's multiple problems. We after becoming a legislator, one of the things I started thinking about is our immigration system, even though that's not something that we do on a state level, that's a federal
Right.
level.
Hmm.
But yes, we have a horrible immigration system. We have horrible immigration laws to start, and we have a process problem as well. Um, it can be solved. Immigration is not that hard to fix. It requires the will to be fixed, though. And since I've been here, I've been monitoring it. And for the last 36 years, there has not been a will to solve it. There's a lot of talk, but neither Democrats nor Republicans want to solve it for different reasons.
So I know that's that there's some validity to what you say. And I know we're here to talk about small business, but a little bit of politics never hurt anybody.
And immigration is part and parcel of small business everywhere.
Absolutely.
That's I was gonna swing back to it because I'm the grandson of immigrants who came to this country, Armenian immigrants who came to this country, who lived
Inch
in Beirut,
Beses, Inch
and
Beses,
what yeah, inch besek, Shadlav and Tunç besek.
Shatla.
And I my grandfather left my grandmother in Beirut. But and then he started a business. But I was in the White House because I was a member of the National Ethnic Democratic Coordinating Council. And they would have us when um, Barack Obama was president. And they would have us in the White House. We would have our meetings there. It was amazing. And the chief of staff to the president of the United States walks in to this meeting of ethnic Democrats. And he says, "We really need your help with something. Comprehensive immigration reform is something the president is absolutely committed to, and we have got to do something about this. When you go back to your homes, when you go back to your communities, please tell them this isn't a Democrat issue, it isn't a Republican issue, it's an American issue. We have got to fix this. And the problem is the Republicans because they just want to beat us." Now, I'm sure that the Republicans would say the same thing, no question, that, oh, it's just the Democrats want to beat us. David, how do we get past this bullshit of them, you, over there, them, us, and get to a place where we can figure out immigration reform and fix it once and for all? And you having served in office, you being you, doing what you do for a living, and being an immigrant, I think you have a very good answer for this. I'm waiting.
I can rewrite the United States immigration laws in one day and solve the issue if I have three Republicans and three Democrats that are willing to do so and have the votes for it. That is the easy part. The problem is not the immigration laws. The problem is the overall polarization that we have in America today on everything that is us versus them. Republicans will put it on Democrats, Democrats put it on Republicans. You know, we can, as a legislator who used to go through, as the Virginia General Assembly just did this year, $1,500 to $2,000 bills in a 6 to 8 weeks period, decide which bills are good, which ones are not, pass laws, debate them, negotiate them. I watch Congress and I see that they go through the entire year, maybe pass 10 laws because of the lock that they have and the polarization against each other. I'm not a fan of Congress. So you got to fix the political issue, and that we can, and that takes hours of debate. But if we want to talk immigration for a minute, fixing immigration is not that hard. We have some good stuff in our immigration system, and we have some things that are missing. First of all, family reunification, something that this country is built on, as your family had come in and brought family members and so on. We need to expand that and not villainize it as the Republicans are doing today. There are no such thing as chain immigration. It's family immigration, and we should celebrate it and increase it. But at the same time, we need to increase business immigration as well, which we don't have in this country. Do you know why we have all these illegals that work without papers? Because there is no legal way for them to come. Some of my former Republican friends would always use the line, well, they need to go wait in line. I'm like, but there's no line for them to wait in, right? You need to create a line for them to wait in. Charlie, if you're a business owner, small or large, doesn't matter. If you need to hire somebody to come do work for you, I'm not saying immigrate them, make them U.S. citizen, but if you want to hire somebody from Zimbabwe tomorrow to come either cut grass for you or be the CEO of your company, in a true open market system, you should be able to fill in one piece of paper with name, address, phone number, submit it, let them run a background check on them, and then sponsor that person to be here within 30 days to come and work for you. Not make them a citizen, just work for you, right? We don't have that. We have H-1B visas for skilled workers, which was brought down to 65,000 a year, which people think is a big number. It's
No,
not. The
it's
need in the market is hundreds
infinitesimal.
of thousands, right? To
Right.
the point that on day one, when the applications open, they receive about 200,000 applications. So they have to put all those 200,000 files and then draw in a lottery which were the first 65,000 they're going to process. So we need to open up business immigration, in addition to keeping family immigration. And then third, which we didn't have at all, is merit immigration. It's not either or, it's in addition. Canada has a good system on that. Canada go through their census every 10 years, and they figure out what are they short in profession, right? We are short nurses, and we expect for the next 10 years we're going to be short nurses. Great, let's open up nurses. Bring nurses from all over the world. We are short plumbers. Great, let's bring plumbers from all over the world. So they do this every 10 years, and they figure out what are the shortages that they need based on merit and open up that immigration system based on what the country needs. So keep family immigration and expand it. Today, we have family members that will wait anywhere from 5 to 25 years for their paperwork to show up. Open up business immigration. If you want to sponsor somebody for a green card, a permanent residency, which we have a system, but the system is so bad, Charlie, that you have to make somebody an offer today. You got to find an employee from abroad, make them an offer, then go through a year and a half through the Department of Labor to make sure that there's no other American that can do the job, and then another 2 to 3 years through the immigration system. So you as a business owner has to open up a position and wait 4 to 5 years to fill it and expect that that potential employee waits 4 or 5 years to be able to come and work for you.
Or that your business need it stays the same for 4 to 5 years, right? You're right that your business need
Right.
is going to stay static the whole time,
Or
right?
survives for 4
Right,
or 5 years,
right,
right?
right.
So keep family immigration expanded, open up business immigration, temporary and permanent, visas and permanent immigration, and do merit based, not one or the two, and not one versus another.
All three.
All three. In one
Okay.
day, I can rewrite the entire immigration laws based on that.
What makes for a successful small business person?
Determination, resilience. Today we're dealing with inflation, workforce shortages, changing technologies, regulatory pressure, capital constraints. So you need to be able to adapt. You need to be able to be resilient, and you need to be determined. If you're not resilient and determined, all of these humps in the road will stop you. Of course, honesty, work ethics, all what comes, but those are not just small business. Those are overall business
They're character traits that,
characters.
right. Right. And if you were starting a small business today, um, David's HVAC services.
I'd be horrible at it. I'm so bad technically, but sure.
You just go around the house telling people not to touch the thermostat like I do.
I hire people, man. Look, if you go
Don't
to my
touch the
garage, Charlie, I've
thermostat.
got every tools that Sears used to sell, but they're just sitting there. I end up hiring somebody to come use my own tools. I'm bad
You've
at
got
it.
a whole set of Craftsman tools.
I've got them all.
They look beautiful. Right.
Yep, they sure do.
But I- how do you capitalize? How do you go and get money today, David?
That's, cash is king. I wish somebody taught me that a long time ago, even though we've all learned it. That is one of the problems that we have today. Our system makes it very, very hard to get money when you need it, but it makes it easy to get it when you don't need it. right? A
Credit cards.
and people think
Yeah.
that business or the toughest part of business is getting business. It's not. It's cash flow. It's cash flow. You do good work, people will come back. Relationships, reputation, timing, all of that is important. Of course, you got to be good at what you do. I'd suck at HVAC. I do pretty good in consulting. And vice versa. Somebody might not be able to do any consulting, but they're pretty good at HVAC. But if you don't have the cash flow to run the business, it's just going to kill you. I mean, I built my business on credit cards. When I dropped in 2001, I dropped a six-figure management position in a nationwide company. And I said, I'm going to go start because I saw an opportunity and I want to take the risk, and I'm a risk taker. But I couldn't get a loan. So I went to maximize all my credit cards so that I could rent an office and use the cash flow and hire people and buy a laptop for business and do all of that. Cash remains to be the hardest part of starting any business today.
So
How
if
do
you
you
were starting a business today, okay, I mean, I selected HVAC because we talk about HVAC people, we talk about plumbers, we talk about salon owners on
Food
this
trucks. Yeah,
pod, food trucks a lot.
sure.
But if you were starting any type of small business, I want to stay with HVAC. I like the sound of David's air.
There you go.
Where would you go for money?
Um, Small circle. Mom, dad, cousins, aunts, best friend, people that have some money to give you.
David, I got to tell you, one of the reasons I asked this question is it's sort of a standardized question for this pod. Um, we had a guy on a few weeks back who preaches the gospel of everything's a sales pitch. Never be afraid to make the sales pitch. And he said the very same thing. The first money comes from family.
Absolutely.
I want to ask you a question though. Is that family thing American enough, or is that something that people like Jim and you and I, who come from a culture, although albeit they're different cultures, but there's culture, the family structure, that the money is available in that family structure, and you don't feel bad about asking the family, hey, I'm starting David's Air. Do you have a little bit of lettuce around so I can get started? And they'll understand. They won't think you're trying to
Yep.
cheese them off.
Look, it's a different definition of what's family here. Family doesn't have to be blood family, right? So if you're an immigrant and you're the first immigrant like I did, I had no family around that have money to give me. I ended up bringing the entire family over here, and I was the source of the money to help them out. If you're an immigrant with cousins and aunts and uncles and family that are here, sure, you can go to them. If you're second, third generation, like you two, and have that family understanding, sure. But even if you're not, even if you're a 10th generation that doesn't have those family ties, which I believe, by the way, is missing in American culture in general. So I appreciate that question, Charlie. Uh,
Agreed.
and that stems a lot of other issues, social and everything else. But put that aside, family here could mean a circle of friends. Everybody got a circle around them that know them, right? And the people that know you know what you're good at and what you're not good at. If that circle around you knows that you are handy and you can fix an air conditioning unit, and you go ask them for money to start David's HVAC, they're going to give you that money because they know you. If that family knows, if I go today and ask my family for money for HVAC, they're going to laugh at me because they know I can't fix it. Uh, so that circle is important. That circle could be friends if there's no blood family. It could be neighbors, could be coworkers, it could be people that know what you're good at, and are willing to take that risk. Here's the key thing, though. Um, they got to be willing to take the risk because you could be good at it, and that doesn't mean it's going to work out.
Well, we've had
And
that discussion on this pod as well. You know,
they should
um,
be expecting not to get him back.
there's a book I always bring up, and I hate to do this to you, Jim, because you're like, oh my God, the book again. But it's actually sitting right here. I'll be right back. You ever seen this book, The E Myth?
I can't see it on a small screen. What is it?
It's The E Myth. It was
No, I
written
have
in
not.
'93.
Okay.
This book, I've read it 3 times, 4 times, two, 3 times. It's basically why small businesses fail, why startups fail, and how to allay the fear of failure and how to recognize your weaknesses. You know what you're strong at. You know you inside know what you're strong at. You know what you're good at.
Yep.
You're good at baking pies, but you can't keep a set of books. You can't balance your own damn checkbook. Not that anybody balances their checkbook anymore. But how do you solve that problem? That's what this book is about.
Yeah.
And it's and that this is where I'm going to ask about the government piece, right? I mean, what is Virginia? You served, in office, and you are tied into small business, especially in Northern Virginia. What is the government doing, supposed to be doing, and supposed to not be doing as regards small business today? And in Virginia specifically, sir.
Let me tell you to start, not enough. Not enough, not enough. So when I got elected, I was a Republican, not anymore. And I got elected in a Democratic district, and I won in a 60+% Democratic district for many reasons, including working with small businesses, the immigrant community, and believer of bipartisanship and working on both sides of the aisle in relationship making and so on. Put that aside,
How
though.
dare you? Go
How
ahead.
dare I? Exactly. A relic of a different era, obviously. Um, I went down to Richmond, and in the General Assembly, there are all these caucuses. So there are the two big ones, the Republican caucus and the Democrat caucus, or Democratic caucus. Then there's the Agriculture caucus, and that's the bunch of delegates and senators that are interested in ag issues. There's the Military caucus. There's the Environment caucus. There are the extreme caucuses as well. There is a Conservative caucus. There's a Progressive caucus, the further to the right and left than the Democrats and Republicans. There is the Sunshine Caucus. People get up in the morning and meet in the morning to talk about issues. There's a Sportsman Caucus. There's a caucus for anything you can think of. Former Delegate Jackson Miller didn't like caucuses. He even started the Anti-Caucus Caucus, which is basically a caucus of his own. So I said, "Where's the Business Caucus?" And people looked at me and said, "Huh?" And we don't have a Business Caucus. We do not have a Business Caucus. So 3 colleagues of mine, we were all freshmen at the time, and I started what we called the Business Development Caucus. And we didn't call it small business on purpose because we wanted to deal with business development overall, which we believed would deal into growing all businesses. And we started, first year, we did a listening tour, and we went and started holding, we'd call all the local chambers, say, we're coming to town, 4 of us, and then we're going to invite all the local delegates and senators from your area to join us. And we're not coming to talk, we're coming to listen. And in every one of those, we had anywhere from 25 to 100 business owners in the room. And we sat down and listened to their business issues and took notes. And we did a tour around the Commonwealth. We had probably, I don't know, 6 to 10 of these big listening meetings in all corners of the Commonwealth. And then we started writing laws to solve the issues that we listened to. And we did well for the 4 years that I was there, for the 2 terms that I was there. Unfortunately, the caucus died afterwards because then, the bigger issues came through, and then polarization came through, and then people went into their own caucuses, the big caucuses, the R's and the D's, and they stopped talking to each other. And so we're not doing enough. And that falls on both Republicans and Democrats. What they
So what
should,
should we? Yeah, thank
yeah,
you.
sure. What they should be doing is they should, I mean, we can go into the weeds, but let's keep it on a high level. One is lower the burden of regulations. I'll give you an example. You're a builder, Charlie. You know this. How long does it take you to rezone something in a county?
In the city of Richmond, I just got a special use permit in late fall. No, in March. It took me a year and 9 months to get a special use permit to build a 14-unit apartment building um, in the Fan District. And
Absurd in my
and
mind.
and the day of the hearing, after I had held public meeting after public meeting after public meeting, I mean, we did 4 of our own public meetings, which were ill attended, but still attended. I had outreach to the community where I went to the neighbors and spoke with the neighbors. And then there was the governmental structure of the letters going out to anyone that this would affect. The day of the city council hearing, no, the planning commission vote, I got a call from the head of the zoning committee of the association, the neighborhood association, asking me to withdraw the project temporarily because people didn't feel like they had enough time to address the issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Absurd.
said, no,
Yep.
I'm going
Absurd.
forward.
Whether you're building apartment
I hate to
buildings.
say, you stirred me up, David. I had everything I needed. It was going to be a reverse 1031 exchange deal. I had all the money ready, the pipeline. I even had the plans, the renderings, and plans were not half drawn. They were maybe a quarter drawn. Went back to the city and said, okay, got my special use permit ready to file for building permit. Oh, I'm sorry, you have to go through plan and development. You know what I said? I'm better off buying a triple net property and probably out of state or out of the city and buy it in the county where the taxes are lower and it's easier to do business.
Yep. Yep.
I'm a Democrat.
Yep. Yep. So regulations are just incredible. I mean, imagine, and you're an established, very successful businessman, Charlie. Imagine if this was your only project because that's all what you could afford. Whether it's this apartment building or a restaurant or an HVAC, you like HVAC's company, or whether you're expanding, you
Yeah.
made your plans, you got your budget, and now you go and now you got to sit for a year and 9 months spending
Yeah.
money, the present value of money that you got. Now your loan is not enough. Now the market has changed. Now the people you wanted to hire are no longer available. So regulation is absolutely what the government should be changing to start. And two, from a hardcore conservative, I'll tell you, we don't do enough for small business. We need to reform how we look at small business. We really need to incentivize small businesses. Small businesses are really the heartbeat of America. That's not a line. That's not a slogan. That's reality. And what the government should be doing is to make access to money available, to make, if you don't want to call them a set aside, at least a fair opportunity for small businesses to compete at. And I know if you have local governments, folks listening to this, my friends at local governments hate me for saying so, but force local governments into moving these zoning and these permits much quicker, whether they like it or not. There are laws in states around the country where they say you have X period, I think it's 6 months. If you don't approve or deny a permit within the 6 months, it's an automatic approval.
I'll do that research and find
Yeah.
out. I have one last question, Jim. I know, but I'm on a linear approach with David. Give me one more. David, you brought up something very interesting in the last segment, which is access to capital and what the government needs to be doing to make access to capital. I think you used the term easier. I'm not sure, more available. I have asked 2 or 3 guests this question. You've used up your circle of friends to start your HVAC company. You're needing to expand. You're not David Ramadan. You're a Beiruzi who is getting ready to expand. Where do you go for the money?
Hopefully by then you have certain level of income coming in. Hopefully by then you have some value in your business, so you can go to an SBA program that will help with that.
Okay,
Or
I'm going to stop you right there. That brings up my question. Does the state of Virginia have any business loaning money, or should the state turn the loan process over to the banks and back those loans?
the latter. An SBA program should not be run by the state. It should be guaranteed by the state and let the private sector run it.
Jim, the floor is yours. I
Right.
just, I really wanted to hear it from somebody who doesn't have a political axe to grind, who's been there and done that. And I have been screaming this from the rooftops for a year, maybe longer, that banks, small banks, community banks should be given tranches of money that the state's got. And we know the state has the money for the small
Sure.
businesses. The previous administration did a very, very poor job of distributing that money properly. They may have distributed some of the money, but they didn't do it, in my estimation, my opinion, properly. They lean more towards tech. That's fine. That's where the governor's head was and always has been. Um, doesn't matter.
I'll
If
take issue with that. His head was in dismantling businesses. Let's not forget where he came from. But go ahead. I'm no big fan here, buddy.
I'm being kind. I'm
Yep.
being kind. We're in Virginia. That's how we are in Virginia. We're kind. Um, I just think that tranches of money should be not given, but look, give it to the bank at a quarter point plus, half point plus, and tell them loan the money out, and we'll back the loans. That way, we're not a bank. We're a state government. We are. We have I mean, I don't know. Would you call it a fiduciary duty to the
Taxpayer.
taxpayers?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Right? So
Of
if we
course.
have a fiduciary duty to the taxpayer, what are we doing loaning money? Our duty should be to ensure that that money is either paid back or covered somehow. Anyway,
Agreed.
you know what? Jim Moy's in the corner over there saying, this is not the Charlie Diridor show. What the hell's going on here? I'm sorry.
No, nobody puts Jimmy in the corner. So I I, I mean, let me just say something quickly on this capital piece.
Unless
I
unless the lawyer is billing $1,000 an hour, he'd be happy to sit in a corner and wait for it, right,
thousand,
Jim?
wait, thousand, 2,500 an hour. Times are tight. Uh, um, on this quickly on this capital thing, then I'm gonna do a slight pivot, but it's not a huge one. Um, I think what this shows is we need a new approach, right? The approach isn't working because at the end of the day, how do you ensure that every dollar that you can is getting into the hand of the company that needs it? And if you have a system that is inefficient in getting that dollar into the hand of that company, I don't want to call it a failure, but functionally it's a failure. It's not the most efficient way to do it. And one thing I think we can't be scared of is the reimagination of how we do all of these things. So, moving along those lines, one of the things I'm hot and heavy about is engagement. Meaning, if you've got 50 people working, in an agency that are meant to engage small businesses, they shouldn't be sitting in an office
In their
building.
offices?
Right. They shouldn't be sitting in the office building in Richmond. They should be co-located with community organizations who already have built those relationships so that right there in the community. And when people hear in the community, all of a sudden they take it to different places. But here's the reality. If you're going to spend the money to have someone who's supposed to be helping a small business, that small business person should not have to waste their time on the phone with a nameless, faceless bureaucrat who they don't know, trying to figure out sometimes very technical issues, sometimes deeply personal issues, right? Anytime someone has to give up their financials, I don't care whether it's the business's financials or their own personal financials that are backing the business, that's deeply
All the
personal
same damn
stuff.
pocket.
Right.
Right.
It's deeply personal. And the way you move those things faster is when Jim can walk into his local chamber of commerce office and he knows that Charlie is sitting at that desk 3 days a week and he can walk his financials to Charlie. Charlie can take those things, input them into a system. AI runs whatever it needs to run in order to help facilitate certification or eligibility and qualification for loans, whatever the issue may be, and that the engagement piece is what needs to be different because
Charlie needs to even help them prepare those documents
absolutely,
because that owner may have all his bank statements but never completed a financial statement.
and the
Well, but
government
see, this
has
is
the
this is
government
where this is where my idea, and I'm going to just keep hammering it and hammering it until somebody listens to me, where I believe some of this stuff needs to be put into the 4-year public institutions of Virginia and the community colleges of Virginia so we can tie education into this process so that you've got kids trying to learn this stuff to go off and do it can help people who don't know how to do it. And the people who don't know how to do it by fiat can teach those people who are trying to learn to do it how to do it
right.
and how
Well,
to help others do it.
Add to that, what I've been hammering for years, I'm going to keep hammering, is make sure every college student in Virginia takes a civics course as a requirement before they graduate college.
Well, don't they have to?
Nope.
no, not for college.
Nope. You know
No.
what? You know when's the last
I'm sorry.
time? You know
You don't
when's the
have to
last
take
time we
poli
teach?
sci 102 intro in
Nope.
college.
Nope. You know when's the last time we require students to learn civics? 8th grade. Once, and
I
that's
know
it.
this is a podcast and I know this isn't right, but you're shitting me, right?
I'm not shitting you, buddy. 8th grade, we teach the generic civics course, and that's it. Now, if you are a government major, you're going to take those courses. If you're a non government major, you never have to take civics ever again. We graduate engineers, We graduate IT, we graduate biologists, we graduate historians, we graduate music that don't even understand what an SBA is, or what state government is, or what a delegate is, or what a senator is, or that they have election every year in Virginia.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that, and I'm feeling ill. But please, Jim, now I'm going to go sit in the corner.
Well,
That's
eh,
sad.
well, and I think that that goes to it's all about engagement. That's how you up engagement. Engagement is about educating people and giving people the necessary access, right? And having civics courses. Here's the other thing I'm a big believer in my current employer. But you should have a financial literacy class you should have to take,
In high
right?
school,
In high
And no,
school,
no, wait, junior high, high school, and in college, you should have to take it, right? You should have to take because it means three different things. In junior high, it looks one way. In high school, it looks a very different way. And in college, as we very well know, that looks totally different, right? So this is what I mean by all of this is about reimagining how we engage people. It's about reimagining that if you're going to spend $1,000 to do something, what's the best, most efficient way to spend that $1,000? The government has a vested interest in making every small business as humanly successful as it can possibly be. Why? Because if it's successful, people are working, people are paying taxes, they're going to get taxes from that business, and it's the morale piece of your they're the backbones of your community. So why not dig deep into all of that? Why not really start to try to focus in on the engagement piece of this? But the you can hear it in my voice, the lack of engagement is the to me one of the major pieces in all of this that's missing. And even if it were done on a test basis, take 10% of the workforce of one of these agencies and just go put them in the field and see what happens. See and monitor and track all of this and just see what happens. Because I think to the point, if someone was
there are
holding these
good examples,
businesses'
Jim.
hands,
There are good examples. DMV to go,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
holy moly.
Instead of sending everybody to a DMV office, they wait for hours and hours and hours. They put them in a little bus and it brings it to the community, and then you can go get your driver's license renewed and do 90% of those transactions, at the local, by your local supermarket.
Well, you can also
So
do a lot of stuff online for DMV now.
yep, now you can,
Do a
but
lot of
we've
stuff
had
online.
getting in the community, absolutely. Engagement, absolutely. And that doesn't mean, and you alluded to it, but you didn't want to say it, Jim. Um, that doesn't mean that this is only done in churches and in liberal organizations. That can be everywhere.
absolutely, absolutely.
And this is not just a minority issue. This is a business
You know,
issue.
I was smiling and laughing earlier. I bet you guys were wondering, why? I'll tell you why. We sound like a bunch of Republicans from the 1980s,
I am a
1990s.
Republican from the 1980s. I'm no longer a Republican, still a
What
conservative. But
what what I'm saying is that this idea of empowering people to feel like they have a shot is not necessarily I mean, you're sitting here with two Democrats, right? But I'm assuming you're a Democrat, Jim. I don't know. Anyway, um, here's my point. My point is, and it's when Obama said it about anything, this is not a Republican issue. This is not a Democratic issue. This is an American issue. This is the ultimate American issue because small business, by definition, is 500 employees or fewer. And by definition, then 97% of the businesses in America are small businesses.
yep,
That's it.
absolutely. Absolutely. And
There's
Now,
nothing there's nothing more American than a small business.
Look, when you say small business is a backbone, we're not talking slogans. We're talking businesses that are owned by individuals that have taken, we talked about money, that have taken the risk, that have put their credit cards, that have put their home, the value on the market.
And
And
they got to put
nowadays,
bread on the table that night
Charlie,
because of
put
that
bread on the
small
table.
business.
But they sponsored a local team. They hired the neighborhood kid. They supported the nonprofit gala. They served on the local board of their HOA or their hospital or whatever it is. They kept that mainstream alive. That's not just an economic unit that keeps America going, but
It's a
it's also a
societal.
civic infrastructure.
Right.
And
Right.
this is where I mix my government and my business together because I see everything coming as a civics and a business together.
What is AI going to do to small business, David?
I love
I mean,
AI.
you're a learned individual. You got letters at the end of your name there. Tell me what AI is going to do to or for small business or both.
Both. It's gonna help them or destroy them. I am a huge proponent of AI. I use ChatGPT 20 times a day. I drop an RFP in a chat GPT, and instead of spending 3 hours reading it, I let it summarize it for me to know if I want to bid on it or not. And then I drop that RFP back and I say, all right, now use my previous RFP writing, RFP responses that I wrote and start the shell for me for this RFP. And instead of doing for 3 hours, I let it do the shell. I let it edit my letters. I let it, if I'm doing a presentation for education, I let it format my presentations. I use it in 100 ways. It is an incredible time saving research tool that every small or large business professional should be using. However, if you don't use it, it's coming to a point where you're going to be quite behind and it's going to destroy you because everybody else is going to be using it. This new adage that everybody has heard by now, you're not going to be replaced by AI. You're going to be replaced by another person who knows how to use AI. And that's where we are today. So use AI, use it for automation, use it for your papers, use it for answering the phones, use it for recruiting, use it for research, use it for customer service. But you use it. Don't let AI, don't let it take over, because if it took over 100%, then you're no longer in control of your business. Nor if you think that it can do all the work for you, it cannot do all the work for you, nor not use it because the world is moving on with AI in it.
So you mean there's a regional minimum, a middle ground with this?
It's minimal literacy at this point. We were talking about civic, talking about financial literacy. There is minimum AI literacy at this point.
Right.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely.
Understand how to use the tool, right? Because it's a
Yep.
tool.
Yep.
It's not meant to be everything. It's meant to be a tool to help you be more efficient and be better at what it is that I think better at what it is that you do. So as we wrap up, um, tell the good folks where they can find the good doctor, because I know you're all over the interwebs.
Well, for business purposes, you can find me on LinkedIn. And this is where I talk about business issues and I post my business activities. 99% of the time, I include some social and politics there, but that's really the professional side. If you're on the political side, and we mentioned a couple of times, I am neither a Republican nor a Democrat today. I am an independent. In this last election, did I had the pleasure and honor of endorsing and supporting Governor Spanberger and Lieutenant Governor Hashmi. I think I was the only Virginian who served on both of their transition teams.
You are.
I am.
Yeah.
I had the honor of serving with you two on part of that, but I think I am the only Virginian that served on both the governor's transition team and the lieutenant governor's transition team. But I remain to be an independent, and I am quite vocal on issues politically on Twitter. So you can find David I. Ramadan. I use my middle initial there, David I. Ramadan on Twitter or X now. Um, and I weigh in quite a bit. Now, in the last 90 days, it's been mostly about international politics in the Middle East. That's where I come from, and there's a lot happening there. I do TV interviews on a daily basis, multiple nowadays, because of that, and I post some of that on Twitter. But Twitter for politics, LinkedIn for business.
And for the record, I knew I had arrived when one day, because I read the Washington Post every day. I'm such a Washingtonian. I'm reading the Washington Post and I'm reading this random story. And who would pop up in the story? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The good doctor himself was quoted in the story. And I had to stop right then and send him a text because he's the good doctor. And I said, I know the good doctor. Um,
Thank you, Jim. It's an honor.
it has been an honor and a pleasure with two of the best heads of hair in small business. I would love to say I fit the profile, but our
You're the smarter one in the team here.
yeah, but if we were out on the town, I know who the women would like. They would like the two of you, the two silver
Listen,
foxes.
listen. None of that's true. Okay, let's just let's end with this. Okay,
I think we'll end without
different
commenting
strokes for
on that
different
so that
folks,
none of
my
us get in
friend. All
trouble.
right.
Take that one off the air so none of us get in trouble here.
Right, right. I don't want to get the two of you in trouble
I,
because
I'm as married as anyone's ever been. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you, sir.
You're a well-respected person statewide. I've had conversations during transition, post-transition, and I've had a couple people say, "Have you called David Ramadan and talked to him about it?" That says something.
Thank you.
When
An honor.
people you don't know that guy, that says something about two things: your knowledge base and your character. Because people don't normally say, "Have you talked to X about Y?" unless they know X is someone you can count on to be thoughtful about something. And I really appreciate your thoughtful discourse this evening, sir.
Thank you for having me, gentlemen. It is an honor and a pleasure to be on your show and to be with you and to know you in person and to have served with you on transition teams and looking forward to continuing discussions and serving our great Commonwealth.
Well, we like to again thank you for joining us. We'd like to thank all of our guests for tuning in. And as I always love to say, be good, be better, and be best. Thanks, everyone.